So, what is quantitative research? Quantitative research is the quest to answer questions through measurement and calculation. Okay? Measurement, that's what we're doing in the first half of the course when we're looking at data collection. Calculation, that's what we're looking at in the second half of the course when we do analysis. Not everything in life can be measured. But if what you're talking about can't be measured, then there's nothing to calculate. In the social sciences, we've developed ways of measuring many things that you might assume can't be measured. For example, attitudes, feelings, implications. These measurements cannot be 100% objective, but we do our best. Now, you may or may not go on to carry out quantitative research in your careers. Whether you do or you don't, you will certainly come across the findings of quantitative studies. You may work for organizations that commission quantitative research. You will certainly see quantitative studies reported in the media. You will find that many things you want to know more about have been researched from a quantitative perspective. Understanding the principles of quantitative research will help you to understand and evaluate that research. There's many ways in which this can be useful. For example, think about something like diet, for example, right? Everybody wants to know about diet, or maybe some of you think you don't have to worry about that yet, but by the time you get to my age, you will. This was, you'll see a lot of stuff in the papers about, what's good for you, what's not good for you, how to keep healthy. The advice seems to change all the time. How can you actually get to the bottom of that? Well, it's all based ultimately, or at least the only valid bits of it are based ultimately on quantitative research of exactly the kind that we're looking at on this module. I remember looking at, I remember reading about particular bits of advice with regard to nutrition in the media, and thinking, what on earth is behind this? Is this something I should take seriously? Is this, is this just some fad? Is it just some nonsense or hearsay? Well, what I did was I then actually went looking for the underlying research, and because of the knowledge that I have as a quantitative researcher, I was able to understand that research. And then from that, I was able to say, okay, they're saying this, there's only a little bit of evidence for it, and it's not a big effect. I'm not going to worry about that thing. On the other hand, with regard to other things, I could say, okay, they're saying this, and actually there's some pretty good evidence there, so I think I might alter the way I do things. And this is the sort of power that you gain from the knowledge that we're imparting on this course. It's empowering. Sorry, that ping again. I should have switched off Outlook before I started this lecture. Right, what exactly are you going to learn? You will learn about the most important forms of quantitative data collection in the social sciences. This will provide you with sufficient grounding to carry out your own data collection for your dissertation research here at King's College, with practice in your subsequent career. I say with practice advisedly. You probably won't be able to, we're going to teach you a lot on this course, we are, but we can't take you from zero to being an independent quantitative researcher in your own right. If you're going to, you will need more practice, more learning to be able to actually go out and do this in the real world, I have to admit. But we will do our best, and we will take you as far as we can down that path. You're going to learn about the main methods used in analyzing this data. And that will give you sufficient grounding to analyze your own data, and also to understand and evaluate analyses carried out by others. Why am I the person to teach this to you? Well, I did not begin in quantitative research. My PhD, I was originally a linguist, and I was not originally a quantitative or statistical linguist. The quantitative linguistics and statistical linguistics do exist, and but I came to those later. I started out as a regular linguist. I was studying the structure of language. My PhD used qualitative research methods, not quantitative ones. In my first academic job, however, I worked on a year-long content analysis. I spent an entire year doing it, collecting the data and categorizing it. You'll see what this means later in the course. It was originally supposed to be a purely qualitative content analysis, but as I was working on it, I started to see that it had the potential to become quantitative. And that was the point at which I started to, on my own initiative, to gather this knowledge that is imparted through this module. Since then, I have designed, carried out, and published multiple content analyses. I've also conducted small surveys by myself, and I've worked with private sector research companies to design and conduct large-scale surveys using government and voluntary sector funding. Now, this means I have a lot of real-world experience in all of this, but also I know what it's like to come to quantitative research as an outsider. Okay, I didn't actually do a single module in statistics or quantitative analysis as a student. I finished my PhD a long time ago, so I've had a long time to build up this knowledge, but it has all been since then. So I've come to it all as an outsider. And I know that most of you don't have, well, those of you that have done 7AAVBCS1 have had some introduction to analytics already, but with the exception of that, I know that most of you will come to this without any background in maths or statistics at all. So I know what that's like, and I'm going to hold your hand and take you through it.